It's just crazy.
Colorado native and artist Topher Strauss films the sights and sounds after just landing in Tel Aviv, about an hour northeast of Gaza.
Tonight, a man from Denver is among those trying to escape from the deadly attacks in Israel, as the Israeli government has now officially declared war against Hamas.
A spontaneous trip that turned to terror for Denver artist Topher Strauss, when minutes after this video, the attacks began.
I was approached to do a painting about Jerusalem, about Israel, and one morning when I started the process of painting Israel, within 10 minutes of just even trying to conceptualize what I wanted to paint, I realized that I needed to be there. So on a whim, literally, I booked a ticket from Denver to San Francisco to Israel. And I had 4 hours to get to the airport that same day. It was just a really spontaneous decision to do this. Got to the airport, made it out. When I got to Tel Aviv, it was nighttime. I went right to my Airbnb, went to sleep, woke up in the morning, and Tel Aviv is located right on the Mediterranean Sea. It's beautiful. I think it's really important when you do a long trip to ground yourself, to touch your feet to the earth. So I walked down to the beach and I played in the ocean and I had fish chasing me around, and it was amazing. I was like, this is really gonna be a fun trip. And in less than 20 hours after arriving into Israel, all of a sudden sirens started going off. I just landed here in Tel Aviv and everyone's packing up and headed to the shore. I don't know what's going on. I'm a little scared. There's people pointing over here. Holy shit. Okay, I'm hearing some explosions. Okay, but you can see missiles above me. That day, over 2,000 missiles were fired into Israel, and a lot of them for Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv has an amazing missile defense system, so not only would you hear the missiles going overhead and exploding, but there would also be the defense system hitting the missiles, and so literally, the sky was full of missile trails and explosions. Being caught in the middle of a war has really, it's really defined me. It's really changed my perspective on life. It's changed my perspective on art and the way I see things. And it was really impactful. It was scary. It was very, very scary.
The death toll has now surpassed 1,100 people, and thousands are injured on both sides.
I talked with Strauss about what happened when he was on the beach.
I'm in the Mediterranean Ocean. It's amazing. I'm swimming around, and then all of a sudden, I hear the sirens going off. I see people running, to shelter, and I just pick up my stuff and I go, and I hear explosions above my head. Multiple explosions, and I see missile trails, and it's just pure chaos. And I'm trying to find people to talk to find out what's going on. And no one knew. Little did we know what was really going on.
Just a very, very surreal story. So the good news that we can report this morning is that he did make it safely out of Israel. He's in Milan. He texted me at around 2:46 this morning saying that, hey, I'm here, I'm safe, and everything is good.
I bought 3 different plane tickets trying to get out. My first 2 flights were canceled because international airplanes weren't even allowed to land or take off due to insurance reasons and it being in the middle of a war zone. So finally, I realized the only airplane taking off was an airline called El Al, which is the national airline of Israel. I got on an El Al flight. Thank God. The airport was a zoo. People were fighting to get out. Like I saw fist fights breaking out. People were There were so many people sleeping on the floor, not knowing what to do or where to go. There were reports of potential bombings at the airport. It was scary. And so when I finally sat down on this airplane, we started taxiing. The pilot came on and said, we're going to turn off all the lights for this takeoff. Please close your windows. I realized that was because we were flying out of a war zone and we were a target. The plane was packed. It was one of maybe a small handful of flights that were able to even take off. We took off at such a steep angle, and when we were at a safe altitude, everybody let out a heartfelt sigh of relief. People were crying. People were leaving behind their families, their homes, their lives. We took off. Everyone was clapping. Everyone was crying. It was a lot of emotion. I did another painting in addition to the Jerusalem painting. It's called Safe, and it's all about that feeling of safety. We were landing in Italy. That's where I managed to be able to get a flight to. And when we were landing, I looked out the window and I saw the beautiful fields of Tuscany below me. And I knew I was safe. I knew I'd made it to an area where I could fall asleep knowing that I was safe. It was a sense of relief, a new perspective. It was a moment that I realized the importance of safety. So this art, the two paintings that I've created based off of my experience of being in Israel during the start of this war are very abstract. I mean, my lines are very purposeful and precise for the most part, but these two paintings, they're very abstract, especially Jerusalem. Jerusalem's lines are very loose and it's abstract interpretations, and there's so much emotion in it. The sky is jolted and full of colors and a bit frenetic and violent, yet beautiful. And the city of Jerusalem is a tribute to the birthplace of so many different religions. Here's the deal. My heart goes out to all the innocent victims that have been caught in the middle of this conflict. The Israelis and the Palestinians. It's awful how many people are dying and how many people will die from this conflict, from this war. And my wish that I tried to convey in both of these pieces is a wish for global peace, a wish for understanding and compromise. This experience has really changed me, my perspective, and my place in the world. And these paintings show that.